Welcome back to the All Things Everything podcast presented by Gulf Coast Smoke. My name is Alonzo.
And I'm Sabrina.
And this is episode 18. You know, I was actually thinking about it today. Podcast episode filming is actually one of my favorite things to do. I don't know why. I just kind of get excited for it. Like it's cool looking back on what happened the week before, having topics that you want to talk about. And then, of course, this is like the only time we really get to talk like this.
Yeah.
Unless we're driving to a competition that's a few hours away. We really do not get to talk like this. So it is something that I really look forward to. So what are we going to talk about today?
So today we're going to be talking about barbecue sauces. We're going to discuss, barbecue sauce versus no barbecue sauce, talk about some of the people's favorite brands as well as our own, and talk about some AP seasonings and just some of the recipes we've been working on this week.
Yeah, sure. So recently, I've been putting up a few posts on social media that not only give us something to talk about, but it's engaging for the people that do follow us. So a few weeks back, I put out a post, what's your favorite barbecue sauce? I put a picture of some pork belly cinnamon rolls that we put out there. Those had a barbecue sauce on them. And I was just curious because I've heard it so many times, and I know you've heard it too. So many times, good barbecue does not need barbecue sauce. You hear it all the time. And it's a really, I don't want to say a controversial topic, but for sure people have different opinions on it. So the reason that I wanted to ask that question specifically was because I wanted to see how many people actually like barbecue sauce. Well, the post actually, it had a lot of engagement on it. There was a lot of people that had a lot of barbecue sauces that they really like. So to me, obviously, we didn't get the whole world in on it, but we got a decent amount of people that were commenting. And like I said, there was engagement there. And I don't think we had one person say that good barbecue doesn't need barbecue sauce.
One person said, I don't like sauce at all.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Only one person out of the whole post, though, said, I do not like sauce at all.
Okay. So there was a lot of people that put forth. Oh, somebody actually said looking forward to that Gulf Coast Smoke barbecue sauce. I didn't realize that till right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were putting a lot of different sauces, which was great. And that's something that I really love to see because I didn't want to see everybody put one barbecue sauce. There was a lot on there that I've actually never even had myself.
Right.
And that's really interesting. Like this guy, Rudy Spit, put Curly's barbecue sauce, and there was a bunch of different types of it.
Right.
I'm like, man, I don't even know what that is, but I'd be interested to hopefully try and find it one day.
Right.
And then there was people that put a lot of the sauces that I really like. You know, one of the ones that I haven't actually tried is the Meat Mitch barbecue sauce, the Womp sauce.
Yeah, Meat Church uses that a lot, right?
Yeah, Meat Church uses it a lot. And also, I'm pretty positive they sell it at Academy. It's like readily available.
Right.
We can get it pretty easily. And, I don't know why we haven't tried it. I don't think there's a reason why we haven't. But we haven't tried it. That's something that we definitely need to. One that I see coming up a lot, Blues Hog, Tennessee Red, slaps. What barbecue sauces did you see coming up quite often? And then what is your favorite barbecue sauce? I'll ask that two ways. What's your favorite barbecue sauce that we use in the backyard? And then what's your favorite barbecue sauce we use for competition?
So I saw and this is just based off of brands, not necessarily the flavor of each one. But I mean, the most commented on was Blues Hog products.
Sure, I agree.
And in the barbecue, especially the competition scene, that's what a lot of people are using. I mean, they're a very successful company. They make a wide range of products, and they make good products that they do win.
Sure.
So they aren't necessarily my choice of sauces to just put on a rack of ribs if we're eating dinner, right? But in the competition scene, they do very well. The next, so second place, I guess, would be Craig's.
Mm-hmm.
And then followed by Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a staple.
Right.
I feel like everybody who's barbecued, unless it's your first time ever and you just have a different sauce, has tried Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yes, and the thing I like about Sweet Baby Ray's is I'm partial to a thinner type of barbecue sauce, but I think sometimes that thick barbecue sauce is something you crave. It almost feels more almost like you're eating Oreos, right? Like it's like bad in a good way, right? So that's how I feel.
It's like McDonald's.
Right. That's how I feel about, like, that's what I'm going to get on my Domino's wings if I get barbecue wings from Domino's, right?
For sure. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's that thicker sauce. It's as far as backyard sauces go, that's a good sauce that anybody really is going to like.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the rest of the sauces that tied for that fourth place was Killer Hogs, Smoking Wizard, Meat Mitch, Head Country, and Stubbs.
Yeah.
So, across the board, I think most people are going, because probably from our followers, a lot of them compete.
For sure.
So, Blues Hog really was up there. Now, if I had to say what my so I haven't really tried a whole bunch other than like the ones we use for competition.
Sure.
Because I am one of those people who, it's not that I don't like sauce. I've definitely become more appreciative of sauce
for
from
sure
competing. I think it's got a place in barbecue, absolutely,
no doubt.
But I do love a good dry rub, anything, right? But if I had to pick a sauce, I know one that we used for a really long time was just that HEB Texas style barbecue sauce.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's because I like the peppery, more savory sauces as opposed to sweet sauces. I would say Stubbs, because Stubbs is kind of like that. It's a little more, it's savory.
For sure.
Right? And I like the originals, the Head Country original, Killer Hogs barbecue original.
Yeah.
And if I want something different, Killer Hogs vinegar sauce.
And I think that's my favorite. I mean,
yeah.
I love the vinegar sauce so much. I could use it on anything.
See, and that's the thing is, like, when it comes to sauces, it's you can't put them all in one category.
For sure.
I mean, there's Texas-style sauces, there's sweet sauces, thick, thin.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with that. And I definitely think that even for me, it's not that I don't like any other sauces in comparison to vinegar sauce, but I just really like that vinegar sauce. I love the tanginess. I love that it's thin, but I also like Stubbs a lot. I mean, honestly, I do. I know that might be like sacrilegious or whatever, but I think Stubbs is really good. When it comes to competition, I think the one that I like the most would probably have to be, I mean, again, vinegar sauce. We use our vinegar sauce on a lot of stuff. People just don't realize it. We don't talk about that all the time, but we use vinegar sauce a lot in competition. One that I really like is Smoky Mountain, Blues Hog Smoky Mountain. So when it comes to the competition scene, those would probably be my top two personally. And for backyard, I mean, Stubbs or vinegar sauce. Vinegar sauce is just, to me, out of this world. And like I said, it was almost like a social experiment, what I did with that post, right? In my head, I wanted to see how many people were going to say, oh, good barbecue doesn't need sauce. And like you said, there was only one person that said anything even close to that. And so obviously I think the point of it is that barbecue sauce does have a great place in barbecue. And, like I said, I respect the fact that there's people that just simply don't like it, right? They're salt, pepper guys. They want nice post oak or mesquite smoke on it, and they just want to taste the meat. And I get it. Well, maybe I don't, but I respect it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I do think that if you can, it's almost a skill to be able to learn how to pair a good barbecue sauce with the flavors of your meats, especially the way that we cook in competition. We're injecting our meats. We're wrapping our meats with different things. Sometimes they're fruity. Sometimes they're a little savory. Sometimes they're spicy. So we have to find a perfect barbecue sauce that actually pairs with what we're trying to do that day. And we're also cooking 3 or 4 proteins. So chicken, ribs, pork, brisket. The barbecue sauces are not the same on all of those. And they're always not the same even like on our pork and our ribs. Most of the time they are, but we've switched it up. We've tried different things. And, it's all about finding things that complement well with each other. I can agree that if you've had barbecue sauce, right? Like let's just say you had a brisket, okay? And somebody threw Sweet Baby Ray's all over the top of the first brisket you ever tasted, you're probably going to be turned off on barbecue sauce because Sweet Baby Ray's, in my opinion, isn't going to be good for brisket. That's just me, right? But it's all about complementing flavors. And I think that takes, I don't want to necessarily say skill, but it definitely takes time and really understanding what you're actually trying to do with your flavor profiles.
Right. I mean, and that's why you'll see a lot of barbecue competition people. They're mixing sauces. They're not just using, there is no one sauce fits all when it comes to barbecue, right? Because like you said, it's not only about matching the right flavor to your protein and your flavor profile, but you're also trying to find the right texture of sauce.
Sure.
Or consistency, I should say. The right consistency
because
for your protein.
Sorry to interrupt, but you pretty much want a glaze.
Right.
In barbecue competition world, you want a glaze. You don't want anything that's going to be too thick and clumpy on top of the meat because, contrary to popular belief, we do not want sauce to be the only thing you taste.
Right.
We want it to complement everything that we've done.
Right. It's supposed to be a layer of enhancement.
And that's the thing. I mean, all of our sauces, I mean, it's a stream. It's super thin.
Yeah, I think the only one that's on the thicker side is
our
brisket sauce. But we're putting that over the whole brisket, letting it set, and you're slicing, and you're only getting a small portion of it.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal that it's a little bit on the thicker side. You want it, and that's the thing with the consistencies, right? Like, think about the application you're using it for. That's going on top of the brisket. It's going to set. You want it to be a little more tacky. You don't want it to be running off while you're cutting and slicing your brisket. That thing that sauce has to stay on there.
For sure.
So you want that to be a little bit thicker, get tacky, stick to it, adhere to it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, chicken. You want it to be a nice glaze so you can still see your seasoning, still see the color, enhance the bird, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with ribs. A lot of these thicker sauces are going to have more molasses. They're going to be darker in color.
Yeah.
And when it comes to competition barbecue, you don't want anything that's going to be too dark.
Yeah. Unless it's brisket. I mean, you could probably get away with putting something darker on the top of your brisket. But like you said, okay, you got a brisket slice that's, I don't know, this big, right?
Yeah.
The very top layer is the only thing that we're putting barbecue sauce on. It is like the smallest amount of barbecue sauce ever. You take a bite of that brisket, you taste the brisket, you taste the seasonings, you taste the injection, you taste just hopefully the rendered fat, everything, and then you taste a little bit of barbecue sauce. Now, yes, we throw au jus and we'll put it on the slice and all that stuff, retain moisture, blah, blah, blah. But the amount of barbecue sauce that we actually put on top of the brisket is so small, it is insane. Right. Now, the burnt ends, that's a little bit of a different story, right? We kind of candy ours up a little bit. I mean, and they turn out, in my opinion, incredible. So we've had pretty good results when we turn in burnt ends. I don't see the point to change it yet. If we hit a bunch of bad brisket placings in a row, obviously we will. But for now, I mean, it's just been really fun learning how to use barbecue sauce rather than just covering up bad barbecue. Because I do think a lot of people do that, and I do think that that's where it turns people off.
Yeah, that's what they think it's used for, right? To cover something up.
Oh, these ribs must suck. You used barbecue sauce. Well, not necessarily. The times that we've won ribs or a specific protein and we're able to call it out, well, not like, for example, like I'll say, oh, that's a first place rib right there. It's always pre-sauce because we taste it and we're like, that is a damn good rib. We know that our sauce is going to complement it even more. It's going to get better. Right. It's already amazing as it is. This rib sauce is just going to bring everything together. So they're going to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of perfect texture, whatever. So that's really when we know we're going to do good, when things taste good pre-sauce.
Right.
And so we just know that the sauce will only bring it up to another level.
Exactly. And, there's just so many sauces out there to choose from.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we need to do more in our backyard recipes is, like, for example, seasonings. We tried so many.
In the beginning.
Right, because we were doing comparison videos on seasonings. But, there's just so many sauces out there.
Yeah.
So that's something we definitely need to get back into so we can try these sauces because that's one thing about competing is we're almost stuck to a certain selection of sauces.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, you're going to use what's winning.
For sure.
So it's a very, not small selection of sauces, but in the grand scheme of sauces, right? It's a certain selection that you're going to use. Like, you're not going to be out there. Some people might be using Sweet Baby Ray's out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But most competition people, they're not out there using Sweet Baby Ray's, right? Yeah. There's a small selection of what they're using, so we don't branch out with anything. We're not going to. We already have a fridge full of half gallons of sauces or
Yeah.
gallons of sauces. So
Yeah.
we're not going to be trying other stuff. And I did see a lot of people said homemade.
Yes,
There's
they did.
a lot of people out there who prefer homemade sauce.
And that's cool. If you make a great homemade sauce, that's amazing. Like I said, I'm here to bring up the topic that barbecue sauce has its place in barbecue. That's really what I want to get at. And that's why I made the post, right? It's because I believe barbecue sauce has its place. I think that great barbecue can stand on its own, for sure. I also think great barbecue can be enhanced by barbecue sauce. So that's why we made the post. And you're right. We do need to branch out, and we do need to continue doing things like that, like sauce comparisons, or what's the best backyard barbecue sauce, or go to Amazon and find the top 10 or the top 5 best-selling barbecue sauces, try them all out, have some friends come over. Hey, you tell us which one you like best. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some cool little videos like that. We'll get into that in a little bit. I did want to talk about that because we are going to start going back to some of our old content that we know people really loved. That was another question that I asked on our Facebook. But before we get into that, I did want to talk about some of the recipes that we cooked this week and last week after our podcast that we filmed, and just how things were going. Of course, we put out a video on Tuesday, and that was beef ribs on our 26-inch kettle. Just such an easy recipe. Such an easy recipe. I had people come up to me today at work, and they're like, dude, how did you cook beef ribs that easily? I'm like, dude, it takes nothing.
Well, and I don't think people realize that there are different cuts of beef ribs. Like,
for sure.
We weren't out there smoking, dino
Dinos,
ribs.
nah.
Right. So I think when you say beef ribs, that's probably what people think in their head. Like, they don't really realize that there's beef finger ribs. Is that what?
Yeah,
it would
beef
be?
finger ribs. There's
Right.
beef back ribs. There's,
Right.
of course, there's cross-cut beef ribs. There's plate ribs. I mean, there's so many things that you can cook.
Right.
And I told them. I literally told multiple people today. I was like, dude, lump charcoal, fire, meat. We used one chunk of wood. There was plenty of smoke flavor on those. There was plenty of great seasoning flavor on those. And then just good beef.
Yeah, on
Those
a
were
rubber
choice.
kettle.
Those were choice ribs. There was nothing incredible about them. I think both racks together cost us like $19. And those are the types of recipes that we love to put out because that's realistic. Like,
Right.
most people can do that. Most people have a kettle. You can do it on a 22-inch. We did it on our 26. You can do it on your 22. We've done it how many times? Throw charcoal on one side of the kettle, light it, put meat on the other side, live with the results. And it comes out great every single time. Because all you're doing is you're just keeping that direct heat away from the meat. You're putting the vent over the top of it, and all of the smoke is drawing out over the meat. So basically, like, it's just drawing. It's almost,
Right.
it's not really an offset, but it's kind of like working kind of like an offset, right? You got your fire on one side, you got your stack over here, boom, everything's drawing over that meat. So you're creating like a little offset smoker in your kettle. Take that with a grain of salt. That's not like a true analogy. But I mean, that's virtually what we're trying to do is draw all the smoke over the meat, create flavor. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's super simple. We've been using a lot of lump charcoal lately. We've been using a little bit less briquettes, but I just really like the way lump burns, and I like using it in all of our cookers recently. So I really loved those beef ribs. I thought they turned out incredible. And if you guys haven't watched that recipe, you can go check it out on our channel right now. It's just simple.
Would you consider it an appetizer or a meal? Because I feel like for a meal I could eat a whole rack, right? But they're small enough to where I think they would be a good like appetizer game day food.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely consider it a meal personally because, I mean, 3-4 of them, you're good. 3-4 of them, you're good with a couple of sides. And, I mean, I definitely think that's enough meat. With beef, I mean, you know how it is. We've always been like this kind of where with beef, because we like to buy better quality cuts as much as we can. I mean, I'm not just grubbing down on a bunch of Wagyu and prime all the time anyway, so I can only eat X amount of beef before I start to feel like, too much beef.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a carnivore. I'm a meat eater. I love red meat, but I can't just eat 10 of those ribs.
Right.
I'll start to feel like, okay, I've had a little bit too much beef. So I think 3 or 4 is perfect for me. A couple of sides. I love white rice, steamed rice. Some of that broccoli we've been eating. We've been eating a lot of broccoli. That's, we just believe it or not, we actually, like, when we eat home cooked meals, we eat pretty healthily. Healthily. Why did I say healthily? We eat pretty healthy. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's a meal for sure. Could it be an appetizer? Yeah, maybe. But I think it's a meal, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they'd be really good marinated. I mean, we love Asian flavors.
Well, we've done them like that before.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if we've done it for a video, have we?
Probably not for a video, but we've done them for sure.
Yeah, backyard. If you like Asian style flavors, I think that's a good way to utilize it is on those beef finger ribs.
Yeah, no doubt.
And the cross-cut ones, that's something we do all the time.
Yeah, we do those all the time, and they turn out amazing. So, yeah, I mean, so that was one of our recipes, which I thought turned out really, really good. And then we also posted, when did we post the meatballs? Spaghetti. Was that after the last podcast? After we filmed the last podcast? I think it was because we
talk about it.
Yeah, because we filmed the last podcast last Tuesday, which was pretty early because we had Zach on.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a recipe, very simple recipe, of some stuffed meatballs with spaghetti sauce, Rao's spaghetti sauce. Our favorite spaghetti sauce is not sponsored. If Rao's wants to sponsor this, hit me up for sure because we love your sauce that much. And then just spaghetti noodles, cooked spaghetti noodles. And the premise of the video, it was a TikTok or a short, a reel, whatever you want to call it. The premise of the video was to level up your weeknight dinner. So what we did was we took 80-20 ground beef. We added Malcolm's Italian Stallion. And we added that base to the ground beef. We mixed it in. We made meatballs that were stuffed with mozzarella cheese. I seared them on the Weber kettle over the direct heat. Flames and everything were coming up. We got a really nice charcoal flavor on it. We got nice color on the meatballs. And then we just pulled them in direct and we let them finish. Mm-hmm. I mean, they didn't take very long at all. We temped them to about 145. Then we put our wok on the Weber kettle, threw the Rao's in there, heated it up, threw the meatballs in there, let them heat up a little bit more, threw the spaghetti noodles in there, mixed everything together, let it heat up a little bit more, threw cheese over top, let it melt, boom, we're eating dinner.
And that's something we were making, once a week.
Yeah.
Because Penelope, like one day I just randomly was like, I'm going to make spaghetti, see if the kids like it again. Because, when they're little, I don't like this, right? So you have to keep reintroducing the same foods. So I made spaghetti. Shoot, this was months back probably.
Yeah.
And she liked it. The kids liked it. So then we were eating it once a week, which we got a little sick of it after that.
Yeah, because it was an easy meal to do and then just put on, keep warm in the oven.
Yeah.
And it still turned out delicious every time, that's pretty, I don't want to say surprising, but I mean, the pasta held really well.
That's kind of the way I like to do it now is because I like the cheese melted on top. So that's kind of that's how I prefer to eat it. Not just, you boil the noodles, put the noodles in the bowl, scoop your sauce. I like everything mixed in.
Most definitely got tired of it though.
Yeah.
But this was just a really, really easy way to level it up. Mm-hmm. You had that char flavor in the meatballs. You had them stuffed with mozzarella. Malcolm's Italian Stallion and that base made for a great Italian flavor on the meatballs. And then the sauce itself, I mean, we just love that sauce. So try that out. Go back to our channel. Take a look at our short. It's quick. It's easy. It takes nothing to do. And that's really what we're going to try and do a lot of upcoming this year. Now, rolling into another recipe that we did, we made some pork chop skewers, pork chop kebabs, however you want to call them. So we had some pork chops that we picked up at our local H-E-B. I cubed them about an inch by an inch, just shoved them on a skewer. Boom, 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 boom. Bunch of them. We threw a new seasoning that we're working on right now, which, by the way, not to really get off topic, but we've had a lot of really good feedback on from a lot of people. Like, everybody that's tried it has basically told me, hey, this is fire. My dad called me just a minute ago. I don't know if you heard me on the phone with him. When I was talking to Kevin, I hung up with Kevin for a second because Dad called. And he literally told me, he's like, hey, I've been using the seasoning, used it again today. It's incredible. I don't think you need to change anything. And we've felt that way for a long time, but we also we just wanted to see what people were going to think. right? So we sent this seasoning out to a few people that we trust. We still have some people that we need to try it. I need Chance to try it. I need Travis to try it. I want Sid to try it. But I mean, we've known for a long time this seasoning is legit. We know it's legit, and we've used it a lot of times, and it's done well for us. So there's no reason not to release it. But we will probably do a few other flavors either at the same time or before. We're not sure, but we're working on multiple things right now. Anyway, back to the recipe. So we made the pork. We skewered it. I used our new seasoning only on it. Pretty decent coat. Went out, put them indirect on the kettle. Again, nothing crazy. Indirect. So we had heat. We had a kettle. We had a hot zone. We had a cool zone. Put them on the cool zone. After about 25 minutes, they were close to 145, which was our target temp. I threw them over the coals. Got some nice sear on them. I think it took literally, 30, 45 seconds aside?
Yeah.
Like nothing at all. Because I don't want them burnt. I just want a good char flavor. So flipped them. Then we put some barbecue sauce on there. We put stubs on there. Let it set for 5 minutes. And dinner was ready. We ate it over white rice with broccoli, the same broccoli we were talking about. And man,
Green Giant Tuscan broccoli.
Dude, the Green Giant Tuscan broccoli is fire. I don't know what it is. I think I grabbed it on accident one day, right?
You might. We've had it like way back in the day. But
Yeah.
just randomly, recently, I think, you just randomly grabbed it and we're like, dang, we forgot how good this is.
It's good. It's really good. If you guys haven't tried it, try it out. Like I said, not sponsored, but it's really good stuff. And it's just incredible how good those pork chop bites were because fat was perfectly rendered. Flavor of it was so good. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. If we would have put the wrong sauce on that, those might have not tasted as good as they did because they were really, really good. I mean, I don't really, off the top of my head, that's why I was saying earlier it might be a bad example because with what we made, I don't really think we could have put a bad barbecue sauce on it. I can't think of one in my head like, oh, I wouldn't have put X, Y, or Z on it because it was just really good. I think anything we would have put on there would have been good, but, kind of think about my Sweet Baby Ray's and my brisket comment earlier. That's what I was talking about. You just don't want to create stuff like that. But, man, these were so incredible, the recipes we've been making recently. So easy. So we had the meatballs, we had the beef ribs, and then we had the pork chop skewers. Literally 3 super easy recipes. We got outside, cooked in the backyard, had a good time with the kids, and, man, just amazing food. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much at all. If you guys don't have our seasonings, try someone else's. Get something from your local store. Just get out there and cook something. It's going to be better than going and picking up something from McDonald's or wherever. I mean, and that's just really what it's all about. So, I mean, was there anything specifically about the recipes we've been making lately that you liked or didn't like?
No, I mean, it's just, like you said, it's good to go outside and cook. Now, for a lot of people this time of year, depending on where you live,
True.
You might not be able to do that. But I think these recipes are still things you can do inside, like the spaghetti, make it inside.
In the oven. Yeah.
Like sear your meatballs in a pan and then throw them in the oven, right?
Yeah.
The beef finger ribs, I mean, they're not going to be
smoked,
right? But still, put them in the oven.
For sure.
Those are still going to turn out good. And the pork chop skewers, I mean,
I could imagine that you could throw those in the oven at 250 degrees, let them come up to temp, turn the broiler on, shoot.
Right.
Get the top crispy, pull them out, flip them over, broiler on for another minute, boom, you got them.
Yeah, nowadays, I mean, shoot, you could probably put anything in the air fryer too, and that's going to turn out good.
The air fryer is awesome. We need to do more air fryer recipes for sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, man, like I said, the recipes have been really, really simple lately. And we want to make sure that I had a couple of texts today, man, love the backyard vibes again. People like that from us. I think that's what kind of helped our channel grow a little bit to where we're at today is because the backyard vibes, being outside with the kids. Like in that video, you can see the kids in the background playing. That's just literally our lives. It was one of those things where at one point in my head, I'm like, gosh, the kids are being so loud. But then I'm like, who cares? That's our lives. And that's what we've said from the get-go. We're not showing you anything special. We're literally just showing you our everyday lives. But continuing on, in talking about videos that we want to kind of go back to and things we want to make sure that we, in this year and years to come, we don't forget who we are and how we do things, is we want to start the seasoning comparison videos again. We want to start bringing those back. And one of the ones that I wanted to start with was an all-purpose video. We've had this asked in the past, hey, do a video on all the AP rubs or the best AP rubs. What's the best AP rub? So that's exactly what I did today. So I put out a post and I said, besides ours, and that's the one thing I wanted the people to know, besides ours, actually I did this yesterday. What is your favorite all-purpose seasoning? We'll be filming a seasoning comparison soon. Let us know. Now, for me, the one that I noticed the most to come up was Reggie Q AP. Right? So we'll definitely be getting some Reggie Q AP seasoning coming up. Also, one of the ones that I saw a lot was Elsie's Rawhide, which we've used it before. It's great stuff, so we'll definitely be doing that one. Killer Hogs AP, Mississippi Grit, and I want to also do some that are just in the local stores. I want to do Heath Browse every day. I want to make sure to get Fred Robles, Rio Valley Meats Blanco, which is a lot of people were saying that that's really good too. Haven't had it yet. The really, really big thing I liked about what Fred Robles, because he commented on this post, he said, several good ones out there, but I might be a little biased here. But I liked it. He said there's several good ones out there because it's true. There is. There's so many good ones. Like I said, that base to us is our favorite. Of course it's going to be. That's just, if it wasn't, we need a better AP, right? But that does not mean that any of these are bad at all whatsoever. I've had a lot of these, and I think that they're great. Fiesta Fajita Rub for an AP is what some people said they use. Uncle Chris's as well. Crawford's Texas Oil Dust Wildcatter. Garlic Jalapeno. I mean, just there's a bunch of stuff in here. And it's really, really cool to see Chupacabra. That's another really good one. Just a regular Chupacabra, the original. That is, I would say, like an AP for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing about AP seasonings, though. It's not just, there's a wide variety like ours that are just salt, pepper, garlic based. It's going to be that white seasoning. There's a lot of AP rubs out there
that are red.
They're more than just salt, pepper, garlic, but they're still considered an all-purpose because the whole point of an all-purpose is you can use it on anything. If you can't use it on anything, it's not an all-purpose.
Now, the one thing that I do want to ask everybody, if we do this all-purpose seasoning comparison, it's probably going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 rubs, like literally. So we're going to have to figure out the logistics of that. That's a you and me thing. But what I do want help on is, what do people think that we should cook with these AP seasonings? That's one thing that I was kind of curious about. Like, should we do, I don't know, chicken? Let's just say like boneless, skinless chicken thighs, or should we do little riblets, or should we do cross-cut beef ribs? Or, I mean, how should we do this in order to make sure that we are able to capture the flavor of these AP rubs? Because the reason we call our AP that base is because to us, AP is a base layer.
And not only that, it's like the base of all seasonings, right?
Yeah.
It's the main ingredients that are going to make up all of these other seasonings.
And so we will use that base only on like vegetables, eggs, potatoes, and stuff like that. But when we're seasoning meats, we're almost always going that base and then something else.
Right. So that's also another thing with all-purpose seasonings is because they're so light in color, you're not going to get
that beautiful red color or that dark bark or anything from it.
So like even like the kids, when we made those barbecue pork chop skewers,
right? Theirs looks all bland and everything because they just like that base on it.
Right.
Flavor's still there.
Right.
Flavor's incredible, but it doesn't look anything the way our our pork chop bites looked.
Yeah, unless you're getting a good sear.
Yeah, and then you're just gonna get like a light brown to brown type thing. Uncle Chris's steak seasoning. A lot of people said that one too. So we are gonna have to. Oh, a lot of people said OG from Arnie Tex, which is literally salt, pepper, garlic, or Wow from Arnie Tex. It's gonna be hard to pick some seasonings to do here. I think we need to go and we need to do some of the popular ones, and then we need to do some of the ones that people can just get every single day at their store. There was one in here by it was Kinder's. I can't remember exactly what Kinder's. Oh, Kinder's SPG apparently is absolutely incredible. So it's going to be hard, like I said, to pick which ones we really need to go after, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a way to do the video. And my biggest question to you guys is, what would you like to see us cook with these APs? Because I feel like for me, when I'm only using an AP, like I said, it's typically on like veggies and stuff like that. I don't really think that that's going to make for the best video. What meats do you think we should use?
So the last time we did an AP comparison, it was Cosmos Q's SPG versus Killer Hog's AP, and we did chicken kebabs. And that's what we used it on. Because, I mean, with something like that, you've got vegetables, you've got meat. You don't really need a red color. But those are the only two. And I'm looking back on some of the comparisons we've done, and one that caught my eye was we actually did a pecan rub comparison.
Yeah.
So
we did John Henry's pecan rub versus Heath Rowell's, right?
Yes, it'd be really awesome to do a Hot Oasis.
Yeah.
In a pecan rub comparison, because I think that's up there with, just one of the best seasonings
for sure
out there, for sure. But yeah, I would say, and it's hard, I think with something on the grill, I think using like the griddle top would be really good for the AP, because you can still get good color on your meat as long as you're getting that good sear. Yeah. Right, with your AP seasonings. I don't think just because you're using an AP seasoning means you're not going to get good color, right?
Sure.
So I think something maybe on the griddle, on our new 26-inch, it comes with that flat top, which is really, really nice. I think using something on that. That's the thing with these comparisons, is you want to make sure that whatever you're using it on, you're doing it as simple as possible, and you're not adding too many extra flavors, right? Because you
want to be able to taste it.
Exactly.
You want to be able to taste it. And so it is going to be a hard video, but I think that we can, like, I already have some ideas in my head. Today we're having an all-purpose seasoning battle. We went to our local grocery. We picked up some of the most popular brands that you guys see every day in here, and we picked up some of the most popular brands that you guys see in all of your barbecue videos, all of your favorite barbecue videos. And especially, let's see what they taste like.
And especially since there's so many, this might be a multi-video, like tiered competition.
It could be. I mean, it could be. We could do like a bracket type thing, because, and here's the thing. I mean, we have to buy all these AP seasonings, so we're looking to spend, hundreds of dollars, which is okay with us. I mean, we love making the videos, but if we're going to make the video and we're going to spend the money, we might as well, like you said, make it into maybe a series or something like that. Or, but I really also, one of the things that's important to me is moving forward with comparison videos. I do not want to be the one that's actually comparing them anymore. And the reason I say that is because I know so many people now in the competition circuit or anything. I don't want there to feel like there's any bias.
Right.
So I think it'd be a lot fairer if, hey, Chance is coming this weekend, let's film a video, right? Let's do an AP video. We cook whatever. We have him and Danielle, Travis maybe, my sisters.
Yeah, I would say it'd be good to have 3 people, because people's taste buds are so different.
Yeah, we need a clear-cut winner.
Right.
2 people is, one of them picked rawhide, one of them picked blanco.
Exactly. As I said, three people would be
It'll
necessary.
be a tiebreaker, 100%.
Yeah, the kids would really like not that we'll have the kids judge it, but they love a good AP seasoning. So
for sure,
it would be good to just get their take on what they are.
We might get their thought process on that as well. But again, give us some ideas. What do you want us to cook when it comes to these AP rubs? We'll see if we want to do one large video or if we want to do a series, if we want to do a bracket. And then we can move on to the next thing. Barbecue sauces would be great. Again, go to Walmart, pick the most popular sauces. Go to Amazon, pick the most popular sauces. Do a comparison. Have people come over. Hey, which one's the best to you?
And I think, like we were talking about earlier, that they're so different. I think they need to go in their own categories, right? Like Texas style, or what is it called? Smoke This. Mm-hmm. I mean, that sauce it's Kansas City style.
And it's delicious.
It's super sweet, right?
But it's good.
I don't put that in the same group as like Head Crunchy Original.
No, for sure. I mean, for sure, I agree with you on that. But I mean, I think the one thing that we have to worry about is if we keep breaking it down and breaking it down and breaking it down, we're going to have a million videos to shoot and a million products to buy. And then we don't even have enough space to hold these products.
Well, yeah, but we're testing these products anyway, right? So I think if you find the best of each one and then put them against each other.
Yeah. I mean, I still would love to find ways to, hey, let's do these seasoning comparisons. Let's do these sauce comparisons. I think a cool one would be glaze comparisons because Heath Riles just came out with some. Cosmos has his. Smoking Wizard has glazes.
Texas pepper jelly.
Texas pepper jelly, of course. They're like the originators of it. Well, at least I think. Don't get after me if they're not. There's a lot of good glazes out there right now. So it might be worth, I think Stig, there's a company named Stig that makes them as well. We've had their pineapple one. I think that'd be a great comparison. Like who makes the best rib glaze? Who makes the best barbecue glaze? Whatever. And yeah, I just think there's a lot to do. Like I said, I would love to find ways to send these products out to people, to commenters in the videos and stuff like that, because there's just no way. Number one, there's no way we can hold all these products.
Well, sauces might be hard because they have to be refrigerated.
True. Yeah, we might
most of them.
We might have to give those to friends like locally.
Yeah.
But with seasonings and everything, I mean, there's some that we like. I'll always have Swine Life seasonings on hand. Mm-hmm. I'll always have Killer Hog seasonings on hand. I'll always have Texas Rib Grind. I'll always have Hot Oasis. I'll always have some of Phil's LCs. But I mean, we can't, we can't pick up every seasoning in the world and keep it here at the house. We don't have enough. We literally have like 2 cabinets full of barbecue stuff, and we're like, oh my gosh, we have too much stuff. But, kind of is what it is.
Right.
So just look for those things coming up. We're trying to find out ways that we can bring back the comparison videos. We can keep them extremely fair, and we can compare stuff that you guys want to see compared. I don't want to compare, 2 different things that you guys do not care about. I mean, there might be somebody that will, but we want to please you guys. We make content for us, first and foremost, but secondly, we hope that you guys want to watch it. So we want to make something that you guys actually want to see. So think about that. Think about suggestions that you can give us, and we're open to all of them for sure. Now, we've talked about recipes. We've talked about barbecue sauces. We've talked about AP rubs. Moving forward this weekend, we have a barbecue competition, which it's been a while. The last time we did one, I think, was December. Oh, man. When was that? It was early December, wasn't it?
Like the week before the 16th, because 16th was our competition, and the week prior was the other competition. So the 11th, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't remember. I think it was December 16th, to be honest.
16th was our competition because we went to Brooke's wedding.
So the 9th? It must have been the 9th.
9th, 10th, 11th, something like that.
Yeah, well, the 9th was the Saturday, so it had to have been the 9th. But yeah, I mean, we have a competition coming up in Robstown, Texas, which is about 20 minutes away from us, not very far at all. It is an IBCA competition, which we have not done in a very long time. It's going to be different. We're not used to the longer turn-in times and only doing the 3 proteins. Well, we've done the 3 proteins a couple of times, but we're excited to go out there and see some of our IBCA friends for sure.
Yeah, usually in CBA, if they're not doing pork, the times are still 12, 1, 2, right? They're not spacing it out like it is in IBCA. So yeah, that it is going to be interesting to do the IBCA and just feel like we have all this extra time. Yeah. Because then what happens is we start asking ourselves, should we start this yet?
Yeah. No, we just stick to our times. I think we're going to be okay. Man. I think we have a game plan. We kind of know how we do things. We know how long it takes us to get things done. One of the things for sure to think about is we're not going to have to slice burnt ends.
Right.
So
boxing's going to be different.
I mean, it's going to be 8 slices only for ribs. For brisket. It's going to be 8 individual ribs only, and it's half chickens only. So we'll see how we do. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of teams coming, which is exciting. That's what I love to hear. And, hopefully it turns out good. We also have something next weekend, which obviously we'll talk about that after this week. We'll talk about what happened this weekend upcoming in our next podcast. But we also have something next weekend in Beeville. And we're excited to continue cooking this year. See how we do. We're going to be doing lots of IBCAs. We're going to be doing lots of CBAs. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be our first competition of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to get back into it. I do wish CBAs were more local for us.
For sure.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. We love traveling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we definitely are not going to travel as much this year. I mean, that's just with CBAs. If there's something closer, I think we stick to that pretty much. Now we got to go back to Needville.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go back to Wharton. We got to defend some titles, but other than that, I mean, we might not be going to a bunch out of town this year. We got to go back to Killeen.
Yeah,
we got to go back to Killeen. We want to go see our buddy Austin Bittner. Shout out. We love that event. It was amazing, so we'll definitely be going back to Killeen. But anyway, we can talk about the schedule a little bit later as things come up. For now, we're focused on Robstown, and hopefully we do pretty good.
Yeah, it's interesting when you do a full year of competing, and then it's like, oh, yeah, we got to do Wharton again, and that's in like, what, six months in the summer, right? I mean, shoot, it just goes by fast. It feels like we just competed in these events.
For sure.
So that's the crazy part.
Yeah, even though it's fun, I'm just not looking forward to the hot ones. Man, some of them are so hot, it's almost unbearable.
Yeah.
But, like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit more as it gets closer. So, anything else that we have upcoming that you wanted to talk about?
No, not off the top of my head, but I know we did have some questions.
Oh, yeah, we did have questions. I'm sorry. I almost completely forgot about the questions. Let's go ahead and get to those. So, we didn't have many this week, but we did have enough. And we'll just go through everything. So Steve asks, what glazes you like to add to your barbecue sauce, if any? Sneaky. That's a sneaky question, Steve. So I'll answer it, though. One of the glazes that I love adding to my barbecue sauce is Texas pepper jelly, all sweet, apple, cinnamon. Remember I accidentally got it by accident?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's something that we use a lot, the apple cinnamon. We love that. I don't know. I think it's like very uncommon. I don't think very many people are using it.
Right.
So if everybody starts using it and starts hitting, you guys better subscribe to the channel.
Well, that's the thing. You're not really going to use these glazes in the backyard. So if you're using glazes, most likely you're competing. Right.
Yeah. Apple cinnamon, all sweet.
All sweet, no heat.
All sweet, no heat with the yellow cap. I bought it and I thought it was apple. Realized it was cinnamon, hit a first place rib with it, and it was like, well, we ain't changing anything. So I don't even know why I'm telling you that, but I'm just feeling nice, I guess. Steve, great question. Raul Villanueva said, would love for you to try out Wow from Arnie Tex. We actually have. We've tried out Wow from Arnie. We cooked one time with Arnie at Boari, and he gave me a bottle of OG and Wow, so we have tried it out, and we think it's great. Andrew Link says, ordered your rub and going to do a few test cooks. Can't wait to use it. Hear nothing but good things about Gulf Coast Smoke. Appreciate you, Andrews. Means a lot, brother. Thank you for the support. Really, really appreciate you. Leroy Barrera says, have you ever made breakfast on your grill? We regularly go camping, but usually just cook inside the trailer. What recipes would you recommend?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we've done, even without the flat top attachment, we've done steak and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Just get a cast iron pan and put that out there. If you don't have a flat top, a griddle,
sure,
accessory for it. One thing we've also done is, if you make burgers,
mm-hmm.
you don't necessarily need a breakfast burger, but we like to do like the patties
mm-hmm.
with some over easy eggs. Mostly anything beef with some eggs.
Or also we've done breakfast sandwiches,
right,
with the pork sausage or like Whataburger sausage instead.
Right.
Just cooking it on the on the grill, offset, just like I always do. Cool zone, hot zone, cook it, get a nice little sear, toast up some buns, make you an egg, you're good to go.
Whether you have the 22-inch or the 26-inch kettle, there's attachments for both of them, so you can have, the griddle top, or you just get a good cast iron pan to bring with you when you go camping.
For sure.
And there's, endless things that you can do with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing for sure, is that you don't have to have these attachments. Like, we have that griddle that we like to use, and you can use it for anything. We've made amazing food on it. So one of the things also you could try, I mean, you can literally just make bacon and eggs and make some tacos right there. We've made quesadillas that are really good. Just throw some like breakfast stuff in there, man. I would just say anything breakfast related, literally with a cast iron pan, you can still make 100%. So obviously you just got to control your heat. You don't want it too hot if you're going to be making eggs, and all that stuff is just going to be a learning thing. But man, we've made so many things with just a cast iron and the kettle. Yeah. Very, very, very simple to do. Great question, Leroy. I think I'm actually going to see you this weekend, so good luck to you, brother. Keith Johnson says, 2-part question. Why do you use B&B charcoal, and have you tried other brands? What do you like about B&B more than other brands, and why? So the first one, I'll answer it in 2 parts as well. Why do we use B&B charcoal, and have we tried other brands? Yes, we've tried other brands. We've tried a lot of other brands, to be honest. And for us personally, this is not saying that the other brands are not good. We just find that B&B charcoal burns hot. It burns long. It's readily available to us. And it's just something that I've been using for the longest time. Like my dad, I remember way back in the day, he was the one that actually introduced me to lump charcoal. And he was like, man, you got to be careful with this stuff. It gets hot. And that's when we didn't know too much about smoking meats or grilling or anything like that. But my dad was using it for a long time. So B&B was just kind of one of those things that I grew up using. And we really loved the product. And then we started doing this thing, this social media thing, this competing thing. And now we're affiliated with them. So I can honestly say that we liked B&B before we were ever affiliated with them. And I can honestly say that I do think that it runs better than a lot of other charcoal brands. We have done a video where we had another brand versus B&B, and we showed proof that B&B burned hotter, burned longer, and burned cleaner. A lot of the times I feel like some of these charcoal brands, they have a lot of fillers in their briquettes or just whatever, and there's so much smoke, and it's just nasty smelling smoke. Smells really gross. It just turns me off. I almost want to stop cooking. And
it's not something you realize until you use them side by side, right? So in that video, you can even see the difference in the smoke. And there was obviously you don't see the whole time span of those coals burning, right? But there was so much smoke to the point where the kids are like coughing 100% on their swing set.
So go back and watch the video. I'll link it in the description.
And not only that, but I mean, you even just looking at the briquettes.
Yeah.
Like when you get 2 different brands of briquettes and you compare them to each other with B&B's, I mean, looks like a good briquette, right? Mm-hmm. And you get some of these like store brands or just like really, really cheap ones. No offense. I mean, they just don't even look right. They look like they could be made of anything. Honestly.
For sure. And that's the thing. There are other charcoal brands out there that are very good. And this is not about taking anything away from those guys. We've been using B&B for a very long time. I know it burns clean, it burns hot, and it burns for a very long time. We've used briquettes for smoking. We've used a lump for smoking. We use their logs for putting on our offset, for smoking on our offset. The char logs are great. They have all different flavors of lump. I mean, they have great pellets. I don't have any issues with any B&B product. They're all amazing. They work really, really great for us. So I actually kind of answered your question, both of them, with that one really long answer. I'm sorry about that. I was trying to break it up into 2 because you asked, what do you like about B&B more than the other brands and why? And again, I just named it. So have I tested B&B up against every single brand out there? No, I have not. But I have tested it against specific brand before, and it just works better. Yeah, there's proof. I mean, I'm not altering any of the footage. There's legit proof, and the food always tastes good. Even when I have it right over charcoal, I don't get any funky, nasty flavors, nothing. I've never had a complaint about my food tasting ugly or too much smoke or anything. I just love all the products. Wood chunks, we use them. Wood chips, we use them. Briquettes, lump, everything.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you're just grilling burgers outside, it might seem like, oh, well, who cares how long these coals last, right? But shoot, in the video, I mean, shoot, the other brand that we used, it went out way too fast. So even if you're trying to do a steak, I mean, you want that if you're doing a reverse sear or if you're going just directly over the coals the whole time. I mean, you really, really want that high heat and you want it to last. So especially if you're searing more than one steak. So yeah, it does make a difference when these coals are longer lasting, especially in competition.
For sure. And I mean, it's really, really nice having something reliable that we know every single bag we get is going to be good. We can take it confidently to competitions and do our thing. And we've been doing good with it all year long. Again, I have not had one complaint that too smoky, charcoal tastes gross, nothing. So to answer the question one more time, we've been using B&B for a long time, and we've had great success with it in the backyard, in competitions, and everything in between. It's just a great brand. If you guys have B&B near you, you definitely want to go try them out. And yeah, B&B is just amazing stuff.
Yeah, they're a great company too. A great company to be partnered with.
For sure. I mean, they've helped us out a lot, and we really appreciate them. And like I said, it's amazing to know that we used B&B before we were ever affiliated with them. Just the same thing with Weber and all that stuff. It's a good feeling. Thank you, B&B, for everything you've done for us. And if you guys have any that you can find near you, try it out. You will not be disappointed. And that's all that we had to talk about today on our episode of All Things Everything. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the content. If you are, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Don't forget, we're looking for suggestions. What do we cook with that AP battle? We need something really good. These videos have to come back, and they have to come back really, really strong. So, all the suggestions you guys have, we really appreciate them. Anything you want to see from us, drop it in the comments down below. Leave us a message. Send us an email, whatever. We're here for you guys. Good luck to everybody competing this weekend. I guess good luck to us. I don't know. Yeah. We'll do our best, and we'll hopefully come back with some good results on the next episode.
And happy birthday to our daughter Piper.
Yes.
It's not her birthday today, but Friday, if you're listening to this,
yes,
it's her birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to our daughter Piper. She's 6 years old. If you guys have kids, it's just crazy because I remember the second she was born. I remember holding her. I remember everything about the day. I mean, same thing with Penelope. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.